Mariners are also unbeaten in 7 against Canberra. They have not lost to Canberra since the Mariners' readmission to the Ninja A-League. Today's referee is Beck Mackey, having a quick word to our young mascot there holding the ball. Assistant referees Misuk Park and Vicky Clark, and the fourth official is Sophie Allam. And Anthony Jagranek, the Canberra United coach, yet to taste victory against the Mariners, as has been the case for anyone associated with Canberra United all the way back to December 2008, which is the last time Canberra were able to beat the Central Coast Mariners. Of course, the Mariners spending a number of years in recess in the meantime, but maybe today's Canberra team wearing the white away kit with the lime green shorts today, getting the pep talk from Liz Anton, could be the group to finally get that breakthrough result and take outright second on the ladder heading into the final round. So the Canberra huddle breaks up at Central Coast, coming off a shorter break with the midweek game, but they have rotated the squad. They've got some fresh legs in there again, and it seems as though whatever adversity is thrown at this Mariners team, season-ending injuries, players being sold overseas, now international call-ups, they've always had an answer. Today will be perhaps their sternest test, though, without Avani Prakash and Peter Trimmis, two of their stars this season. Bethany Gordon is having a great campaign in central midfield for Canberra. She's actually scored in the last 2 games and 3 goals in her last 5. So she's in career best form. Taryn King, the Central Coast captain, and centre-back partner Liz Barwick-Gray, hoping to keep it tight at the back again. King's voice all important. And the countdown to kick-off at Polytech Stadium. It was a 1-1 draw in a game that had a lengthy lightning delay when they met earlier in the season. No such concerns under bright sunshine today. And Sasha Grove of Canberra, the player who scored an equaliser almost 4 hours after kick-off, plays the ball here to Michelle Heyman, and it's Canberra on the attack in the early exchanges. Izzy Gomez getting back involved. Sasha Grove, Canberra looking for a first-minute goal, and the Mariners able to defend. Block tackle from Gordon. And Josie Olasino, one of the American connections in the game, able to steer the ball back to Liz Anton at the centre of defence. Hayley Taylor-Young forcing Grove to improvise to keep the ball in hard against the sideline. Eliza Familton knocked to the ground by Grove. Play continues at the feet of Izzy Gomez. Now Taylor-Young and Tess Quilligan. And Hayley Taylor-Young has had the ball deflect up into her face here, but she's not too dazed. Have another look at the replay. Not pleasant, especially in the first minute. Taylor-Young's a tough customer, though. What an energetic start to the game. 70 seconds in. Central Coast with Millie Farrow playing the ball on to Gomez. Now Grove, back to Taylor-Young, Nanako Sasaki. Canberra trying to force the ball forward. A little bit scrappily. They continue to drive it up the pitch. It's a lost cause for Emma Hawkins to go and chase. Annalie Grove a long way off her line, but she strikes the ball well. Liz Anton, the New Zealand centre-back, able to consolidate possession, and I can tell you it's just gone full-time at Porirua Park. The Western Sydney Wanderers have shocked the Wellington Phoenix and won 1-0 away from home, meaning that a Canberra win today will put them outright second and in control of their destiny going into a home game against the Brisbane Roar in the final round. A draw would still leave Canberra in 3rd behind Wellington on goal difference. And of course, as far as the Central Coast are concerned, they know that a win will secure a return to the finals before they host Sydney FC in the final round next weekend. And then it will simply be a question of how high up the ladder Central Coast might be able to push with a late run. So plenty at stake. Here's Millie Farrow. Quilligan playing the ball back to Taryn King. Lorena Bauman down the sideline. Tamar Levin is naturally a left footer, so steers the ball back here. Bauman, Gomez roaming, but Looks as though Nanako Sasaki has set herself with the task of following Izzy Gomez, at least in the defensive half. Energetic tackle in midfield, flying in from Bauman, and she's able to win the ball eventually. Gomez back to Greta Kruzula. Kruzula being pressed here by Sophia Christofferson. Maybe a stray hand into the face of Christofferson there, but the referee, Beck Mackey, not too concerned about it. Here's Liz Barwick-Gray under pressure from Emma Hawkins. Now Kai Buchanan. Well, both teams challenging and charging, trying to assert themselves on the game. There have been plenty of physicality, and as both teams appeal for the throw-in, it's Kai Buchanan here to take it for the Central Coast Mariners. Saw Buchanan play against Perth Glory 8 days ago on Saturday last week, and then she was an unused sub midweek. So Corey Babington rotating the squad quite strategically, looking for fresh legs wherever he can. And some players who just need to play no matter what. Izzy Gomez is one of them, and she's driving a cutback here. Shallow clearance, Familton. Decision time goes back to Quilligan. And Quilligan scoops in a ball that can't really bend towards Millie Farrow. And the referee whistles play to a stop because Josie Olasino is down for Canberra. Let's take another look here at both this attack and also how Olasino seems to have come into trouble. Actually trodden on, or had her foot trodden on by a teammate there, Hayley Taylor-Young. It's caused the American a bit of distress here, Olasino. Playing in her first Ninja A-League season and has been a great contributor to Canberra's lofty ladder position with 3 goals and one of the top players in the league for shooting chances created. Doesn't seem to be too much concern on the bench at this point in time, although you can see the subs there. They've all gone to warm up in the background. So as Olasino continues to be assessed, a reminder and a good afternoon to our viewers in both Perth and Newcastle, who are sweating on a Canberra win today. It's the only result that will keep those two teams mathematically alive going into the final week. Olasino here looking a little proppy. Canberra will be desperately hoping that they don't have to use an early sub. Not just because of having to use the sub window, but also Olasino has been such a key contributor this season that her departure from the game this early could be quite disruptive to their attacking plans. The fitness test continues with the trainer in the meantime. So Canberra are going to play 10 versus 11 while they wait to see if Josie Olasino is okay to return. Buchanan's header, Barwick-Gray. Pass to King. Pops a pass out to Kruzula. Intercepted by Sasaki. Now Christofferson through ball. Heyman not able to chase it down. Picked up by Annalie Grove. Michelle Heyman, 2 goals against the Central Coast Mariners in her career. Of course, a career that started at the Central Coast in that initial 2-year stint the club spent in the old W League in 2008 and 2009. Here's Taylor-Young, spins on the ball, plays it to Christofferson on the right. And Christofferson looking to work through the gears and find her straight line speed. Bauman in pursuit, Christofferson continues the run, and it's good defending by Bauman to see it out for a goal kick. Bauman, who, in spite of not having a goal or an assist, was top of the FOTMOB ratings after the midweek game against Wellington due to the sheer number of tackles and passes and just generally excellent defending she was able to display in that 2-1 win. High ball to the halfway line. Taylor-Young, the ball splits sideways, big collision, and Christofferson has found Levin here. Christofferson full of chat as she walks away from the scene. Here's another look, definitely second to the ball. not sure there's even the slightest argument Sophia Christopherson can have there that a foul was committed. Player whose participation in the season at all was in a bit of jeopardy pre-season as she was battling her way back from injury, but she's managed to find her best. She's now playing for the 14th time this season. Here's Hawkins. Back to Sasaki. Now Emma Robers. Sally James, the body language saying to keep it calm. Izzy Gomez buzzing around as a one-woman press. Is it enough to create a sense of perceived panic? Well, possession's been given away. It worked. Hamilton. Now Quilligan. Buchanan made a run down the right, but Sasha Grove was attentive to it. And after a couple of minutes, down to 10 players, Josie Olasino runs back on. So Canberra took the risk. Olasino has passed the fitness tests. We'll see if she can reacquaint with the game. In the meantime, Christopherson, again, showing her speed, chasing here. Bauman in pursuit. Christopherson sizing up Bauman, who left a leg dangling. Now it's a 2-on-1 as Levin comes to help out. And Levin wins the ball away. She runs into trouble in the form of Hawkins. Good defending from the front by Hawkins, Olasino, and now Sasaki back out to the wing. Hawkins. And Bauman with a stand-up tackle that deflects the ball away for a throw-in. Emma Hawkins netting her second goal of the season last weekend in the win against Adelaide. Here's Robers with a throw-in. Two Mariners ran into each other. Bethany Gordon knocked off the ball. The follow-up, Hawkins, a little pot shot and puts it out for a goal kick. Hawkins, the Texan who went to college in Oklahoma and Arkansas and had played in Portugal most recently before joining Canberra United for this campaign. Gordon. Christopherson has been prominent in the first 10 minutes. Can she put a cross on the money here? It's up for Heyman, and goalkeeper Annalie Grove has front position. That's a good confident catch from Grove. Christopherson finally got a bit of separation from Bauman, so couldn't resist sending in a cross, and why not with Michelle Heyman waiting in the middle. Buchanan. Here's the pass to Eliza Hamilton. And Hayley Taylor-Young in a battle of tall against short. It looks as though Taylor-Young, with that low centre of gravity, has been able to defend the ball. Hamilton coming off a goal midweek. You can see the right hamstring is very heavily bandaged for Hamilton, but she didn't show any ill effects of it, playing 74 minutes during the week. Seemingly unencumbered by it so far. Maybe just extreme precaution for a teenage player who's gone through a bit of a growth spurt this season. It's very quickly starting to resemble the stature of the player she's replacing today, Annalise Rasmussen. Still sitting second in the Golden Boot in spite of being sold to Juventus during the transfer window, as we see a back pass here, and luck's a fortune for the Mariners. It's only out for a corner. Annalie Grove watches it go out when it could have been at high risk of an own goal there. Well, it was a blind back pass round the corner from Liz Gray, and Taryn King left it perhaps trusting that Animal Grove would be there to receive the ball. Instead, it's a bonus for Canberra. So, first corner of the game. Emma Rovers. High, landing on the keeper. Bethany Gordon follows through. The ball twists out with a deflection for another corner. Well, the goalkeeper perhaps third in line there behind a couple of taller opponents. So will Rovers go for something similar? There's another high ball landing at the edge of the 6-yard box. Good header initially from Barwick-Gray. Olasino out to the corner taker in Rovers. Second time ball. Out for a goal kick. So have the Mariners invited on a bit of Canberra pressure here. Shaky back pass. Leading to a couple of corners in a row. Gomez. Taylor Young first to the ball here. Sally James. No press from Central Coast at the moment. Happy to stand off. Wait for the goalkeeper to play to Liz Anton. Again, you see it's Gomez and Farrow at the top of the attack at the moment for Central Coast. Now that first pass gets Gomez interested in challenging Bethany Gordon, and well, she bounced off Gomez but then played the pass straight to Quilligan. Deflects kindly to Taylor Young, and now out for a throw. Taylor Young wasting no time. The ball bounces over Grove. Corey Babington shouting at his English striker in the number 9 shirt, Millie Farrow there. Perhaps wanting the press in that part of the pitch to close down Canberra. A bit more urgency. Here's Sasaki. Olasino. Mariners happy to sit deep. Wait for Canberra to advance. Rovers split 2 defenders and find Olasino. Accelerating onto the ball, Barwick-Gray. It had already gone out behind for a goal kick. It was an awkward landing, but perhaps because the ball had already twisted out beyond the goal line. Canberra starting to take territorial control of the contest, though. Here's another look at Olasino hustling to make ground. Christopherson. Tess Quilligan. Has support from Bauman. Olasino backtracking, wins the ball for Canberra. Now Sasaki. Mariners chasing shadows at the moment. Canberra trying to turn their control of the contest into a shot on goal. Michelle Heyman not able to escape at the ball. Taryn King able to lunge in and take it away. Now the Mariners are looking to counter. Izzy Gomez leading the charge. Rovers in pursuit. And the referee did not see a foul. Mariners fans thought that maybe there was a little ankle tap there on Gomez, but the referee perfectly positioned, and now Canberra slinging the other way. Just a little bit too much on the pass for Michelle Heyman to run it down. The game sprung to life there. Cannon's got to be careful. Nearly gifted the ball to Bethany Gordon. Krasula. Up comes Rovers. Taylor Young. Promising run from Sasha Grove on the left. And Grove wins the corner on the opposite side. Third of the game coming up for Canberra. Here's another look. Well, no tap at the ankles. Was it just the gentlest hand in the back that prompted Izzy Gomez to fall to ground? Got to say it's good reffing from Peck Mackie to just be confident and assertive in the call, regardless of how your allegiances make you feel about the decision. So Canberra have had 2 corners from the right. How about a corner from the left? It's still Emma Robers taking the corners from both sides of the pitch. Robers hangs it up to the far post. First head Barwick Gray, Taylor Young, a tentative volley into the box, and Quilligan clears. Now Gomez. Hawkins battling for possession. Gomez out to the sideline and then runs out of real estate. Olasino trying to turn her marker, and she's fouled. The bump enough to lead to a free kick in a dangerous position here. Josie Olasino protecting the ball and rolled into Taryn King. Not too many arguments from King, but enough there to lead to this set-piece opportunity. Canberra seemingly don't have a natural left-footed set-piece taker out there in their starting 11 today, so it's going to be another right-footer. Bethany Gordon on duty here. Two in the wall. And a line of Mariner defenders ready for Canberra under this free kick. Bethany Gordon. Headed down initially by Bauman and then cleared by Farrow. Comfortable enough for the Mariners. Grove over to Gordon. Bauman over the head of Gomez. Grove, Hawkins against Quilligan. And Quilligan turning in a big circle to lose the attention of Hawkins, but then couldn't quite thread it through Gomez. Robers down the right sideline, and even though Christopherson's quick, she's not able to retrieve that pass. Back in and involved here. Christopherson loses out to Levin. Levin, pass is blocked. It's going to fall kindly for Hawkins. Hawkins goes for a run. Heyman making space in the middle. Hawkins concedes a little bit of ground. Gordon, a bending pass, and well, Heyman was breaking back towards the top of the area rather than following the flight of that ball. So not quite on the same wavelength there, Canberra. However, the Mariners can't escape their defensive half. Sasaki to Heyman, back to Nano Sasaki. The follow-up from Olasino, shot on side, blocked away. Now Christopherson across. That has winded Taryn King. And as it rolls out for a throw, King down on her haunches. Two big blocks in quick succession there. So the initial shot from Olasino went into the shins, and then this one right into the midriff, just winding the Central Coast captain. Taryn King, who started her A-League women's career at Canberra United, following her Sydney University coach Heather Garriock down to the nation's capital when Garriock was first appointed and made King one of her initial signings. Today's game number 90 of Taryn King's career. Here she is clearing the ball again. Hawkins rolling into the penalty area, but Bauman clears the ball, and Gomez sets it out into the path of Familton. Familton in a foot race against Taylor Young. We've seen these two duel once already in the half, and it's 2-0 in favour of Taylor Young in that one-on-one battle. She guards the left back corner very nicely. Here's Olasino. Here's Grove in a bit of space. Taylor Young. Now Liz Anton switching out to the right. Canberra stretching the pitch at the moment. Christopherson. Didn't want to run at 11. Backtracking. Anton. It's the shouts of Anthony Jagrenek shouting from the sideline. Olasino was in the pocket there, but then got closed down. Taylor Young back to Grove. Canberra steadily advancing more and more players up the pitch. Hawkins at the edge of the area. Sends it out to Taylor Young. Can she fashion a cross here? Taylor Young, it's low. It's blocked by Buchanan. Hawkins follows up. Recycles the ball back to Grove. Grove turns onto her right side. Olasino. Taylor Young. And now Hawkins with a low drive. And it's cleared by Liz Barwick-Gray. Central Coast Mariners just lay in wait there. They kept their shape. And eventually, Canberra had to make a move. Pass here from Gomez is awkward though. Heyman's going to go and win the ball. And just a little grab on Buchanan. Play continues. Kruzula. Like foul or not, the Mariners have been able to escape Canberra's press here. Now Levin chasing. And across comes Anton to clear. It was a promising phase there from Canberra, stringing passes together around the edge of the penalty area. Liz Barwick-Gray held her nerve when the ball was finally played into an area of real danger. Sasaki. Anton to Sasaki. Now Robers.
Just stay on the central one.
Robers with the long ball, which is held comfortably by Grove. Buchanan. Now Kruzula. Quilligan hustled off the ball. Well played, Gordon. Heyman can turn and face. Heyman and Taryn King stops her in her tracks. Clearance is shallow. Christopherson just can't keep it in. Well, there's little half chances, even quarter chances. Slight moments for Canberra. It's all creating a perception there on top, but so far Annalie Grove has been largely protected in the Mariners' goal. Sasaki illegally jumping against Gomez there. Free kick taken quickly. Grove committed to the ball. Barwick-Gray decides to just clear into space. Canberra playing this back three today. No Tegan Bertolicio, who's been an ever-present in their defence, bar the one game she missed suspended this season. But Robers, Anton, Taylor Young, they've all spent time in there. Canberra have been very flexible with their formations this season. Back four, back five. Sasaki winning a free kick here. The duel continues against Izzy Gomez. Sasaki fouling Gomez barely a minute ago. Now it's back the other way. So a long-range free kick here, which Canberra are going to set up. No intent to play the ball quickly. Liz Anton has got forward here. Bethany Gordon drops it at the penalty spot. First head Mariners and cleared by Hamilton. Grove. Sasaki. Sliced by King. Barwick-Gray. An up and under header. Once, twice. Now the clearance goes up and under. Robers. The Mariners just can't get it away. Now they do. Buchanan. Up to Farrow. Farrow with it all to do. Waiting for runners to break. Holds up the ball well, and then sends it out to the right. But Hamilton just couldn't make ground. Taylor Young comes through. Lee Grove out of her line. Safety first, putting it out for a throw. Just taken quickly by Heyman. Grove. Heyman over on the wing. Now Taylor Young. Word forward is being shouted regularly from both benches now. The Mariners, after winning the ball here from Gordon, can launch a counter. Farrow, Gomez in support. Farrow hesitated. Gomez is going to make it work, playing it to her own advantage. And then credit to Liz Anton, put her body in the road, and it's last touch out off Izzy Gomez for a goal kick. It looked as though the attack had broken down, but just the sheer determination of Gomez there to force something. Just couldn't get the better of Liz Anton. Bethany Gordon is still down. It was her being dispossessed which started that counter-attack, and she's just favouring her hip here. It's worth remembering that Gordon, at the moment, 26 years of age, in the prime years of her career, but after being a young Matilda as an 18 and 19-year-old, she actually had a really cursed run with injury through her early 20s. First stint at Canberra, time at Newcastle, time at the Western Sydney Wanderers. It's only in recent seasons that she's finally been able to string games together and show us her quality. Today's career game number 74 as a result. Just looking a little sore here though. Still speaking to the physio. If you've joined us since kickoff, only 22 degrees today, but bright sunshine on the Central Coast. Just though there was a little painkiller of some sort handed over, a tablet to Gordon. She's taken that and a quick drink, and seemingly okay to continue in the game. Both teams have taken the opportunity to run over to the sidelines though. Take a drink, take a tactical briefing. So both teams have had a player to just keep an eye on so far, but half an hour gone, scoreless. Canberra took the ball away, crossfield pass, bouncing beyond Rovers. Levin down to Farrow. Kruzula to Tamar Levin. Swings onto her right foot, and a flick from Hamilton. Goes down as a shot on target. And the centre forward for the Central Coast Mariners, Eliza Hamilton, coming off a midweek goal, which was an excellent header. This time tried to glance it with an outstretched right foot. Just didn't have any power to really trouble the keeper. Canberra looking to counter. Hawkins threads through. Heyman! And it's saved away by Grove. And then scrambled clear by King. Oh, one of Canberra's best chances of the game, coming on the counter immediately after a shot on target at the other end. Canberra through Gordon, and now Sasaki. Rovers. No Canberra players at the fall of the ball. However, Grove will take possession here. Sasaki. Great exponent of the long shot, Sasaki, but this one just a little high. Here's another look at this pass from Hawkins. Beautifully measured through ball. And Michelle Heyman maybe went for placement over power against Grove there. Tried to beat her at the near post. Gordon looking to be back to her sprightly best, up and running. Scoreboard here from Rovers, really sold Taylor Young into a bit of trouble. Familton looking to counter. And now Gomez. And Farrow ahead of the ball. And Gomez biding her time here, engages Grove. And Grove is able to nick in, and then good hustle to avoid conceding a corner. Jagranek was having a quick word with the fourth official there, but brings an end to that. Turns his focus back to the game at hand. And a foul here. Hawkins chopping down Quilligan. So the Mariners, who haven't had too many dead ball opportunities, will have a wide free kick here. And it will be a free kick coming out of the shadows. A couple of players just shielding their eyes from the sun. Home fans finding their voice. Youthful crowd at Polytech Stadium today. Lots of tall targets to aim for the Central Coast. King, Barwick-Gray, Familton, and Tamar Levin pick one of them out here. Levin's free kick. In at the near post. And Gordon able to roundhouse it away. Taryn King was the player who made the run. It was a clever free kick, but Liz Anton followed Taryn King every step of the way. Didn't allow anything goal-bound to deflect off the Central Coast Mariners captain. So Quilligan will take the corner. A drifter, James up, and it, well, across the goal line it rolls and out. Gordon clears away. And the first yellow card of the game has been shown to Taryn King. Millie Farrow doesn't like that decision. A bit to unpack here, so the corner. Quilligan hit it flat. Sally James barely brushed the gloves, but it was just enough. And then that foul by King on Gordon has led to the first yellow card of the game. That corner from Quilligan did start to bear some resemblance to a goal from that exact corner scored by Peter Trimmis earlier in the season against Perth Glory. It was a right footer looking to drive a flat free kick. King will have to watch her step. She's in the book. Olasino, Sasaki, Quilligan, Farrow. Sasaki having a nibble, but the ball finds Gomez, and now Familton on the right. Familton's cross is blocked away by Anton. Good defending. Mariners maybe just starting to swing the pendulum. A bit of a sustained period of attack. Here's Farrow, bumped off the ball. Buchanan, Quilligan. Sizes up the options, and, well, James happy to watch it bounce. Levin coming in from just a little too far away. Busy minute for Tess Quilligan, though. A couple of important passes in the corner. Canberra, they're the ones looking for a response. They've been absorbing Mariners' pressure for a couple of minutes here, and the Central Coast can load up again. Gomez from distance. And Sally James back on her line, awake to the danger and able to bat down the shot on target. Izzy Gomez nearly coming up with something special. It is her time of the year now. This is where she lifted the Mariners into the top six to begin with. And they went on that magical run through finals to win the decider last season. And that midweek goal she scored against the Wellington Phoenix was just recapturing that magic. She looms large again today. There's a reason that Nano Sasaki is following her around in the defensive half, trying to curtail her influence on the contest. Bauman. Gomez, Sasaki, her shadow right there, knocked her off the ball. Canberra out to the right flank. Olasino will be second to the ball here behind King, and there's just enough on it to take it out for a goal kick. Here's that long shot again from Izzy Gomez and Sally James right on the line. And it's perfect timing from the goalkeeper, but it had to be. Watched it all the way. And Izzy Gomez not able to catch out Sally James. Hamilton, neat turn, loses Taylor Young. Buchanan. Gomez. Away from Grove and Taylor Young. Gomez with a sweeping diagonal ball. Nearly bent into the path of Levin. Olasino. Anton. That's out for a goal kick. They've really grown into the game here, though, the Central Coast. They're about to finish this first half the stronger. Given away again by Canberra. They are inviting on the pressure here. Levin against Rovers. Quilligan. Lorena Bauman. Buchanan. 1-2 with Hamilton. Buchanan. Well, good hustle to get a cross in, but ultimately no one tracking the flight of that ball. Kai Buchanan. It's only her 9th appearance of the season in game number 19 for the Central Coast, so she has had to bide her time. Bauman. Gordon. Floored by Levin. Play continues. And that pass misdirected. Anthony Jagranek to the edge of his technical area. Let's have another look here as... Well, there was an arm there from Levin, but I think as soon as Gordon felt the contact, she thought it was enough to merit a foul. The referee disagreed. Here goes Grove. Stops and changes direction here. The cross. 3 headers in a row for the Mariners. Barwick-Gray. Sasaki. Hawkins. Olasino and Sasaki. The interplay is tight. Hawkins legged in prime shooting position. And a good slick move from Canberra leads to a free kick in a very dangerous position here. It was pinging around, and then Hawkins stepped away from Liz Barwick-Gray, was able to lure her in. And that swipe enough to lead to this free kick. Mary Stanich-Floody sitting on the bench, probably wishing she was on the pitch right now, because this would be prime territory for her, but as Annalie Grove organises a wall, looks like it's Olasino and Gordon, the two that are standing over the set-piece opportunity here. 4 in the wall, and an eager line of players waiting to follow in. Is this Canberra's moment to strike as we wind towards the end of the first half? Just wonder, is Gordon going to roll this across to Olasino to try and charge in and hit it away from the wall? Just the way they've set up here. Olasino standing a couple of steps away. Keeping everyone guessing here, Canberra. Moment of truth. Gordon is going to shoot on targets, and it's saved away by Grove. Excellent parry, out for a corner kick. Bethany Gordon tests the goalkeeper, and the goalkeeper had the answers. Direct shot, nice curve on the ball, but not quite into the corner. And that was enough for Annalie Grove to get up, show her goalkeeping technique to parry away. Romans takes the corner. High to the back post, no one home for Canberra. And you see the applause there from Annalie Grove for her defenders. They have stood up to a big test there. Canberra really turning up the press at the end of the half. Grove has to clear in a haste. Sasaki with a volley. Kruzula. Bauman. tie in the air by King, and lots of backspin on the ball. Heyman trying to anticipate it. Preventative defending coming in from Barwick-Gray. Taylor Young sees Sasaki in space in midfield. Loose first touch though, uncharacteristic from Sasaki. Still able to win it back. Heyman, now Barwick-Gray. Familton, look at the speed of Grove trying to close her down. Charging back here. Farrow through the middle and not able to bisect two Canberra players. Taylor Young. Clearance. Misses all the white shirts and found a Mariner instead. Quilligan to Barwick-Gray. Farrow. Now Levin sweeps her right foot through the ball, and it's catching practice for Sally James. On the counter-attack is perhaps where the Central Coast have looked at their most dangerous. James hoping for Grove. And that's last touch seemingly off Kai Buchanan. Canberra throw in. Taylor Young takes the throw in. Gordon. To Taylor Young. Down the line for Grove. Buchanan, Barwick-Gray, Krasula. Now Quilligan can break into space. Sees Levin. Levin sets it out in front of Bauman, and Christopherson's quick. Christopherson is really quick, and now is going to turn the game around and drive Canberra in the other direction as we tick into 2 additional minutes at the end of the first half. Canberra have the throw here. Heyman attracting the attention of 3 defenders. Now Olasino on the turn. Well, it was a good first touch from Josie Olasino. But she had to be good to beat Annalie Grove on such an acute angle. Just couldn't hit it across the keeper instead. Right into the clutches of Annalie Grove. Quilligan. Gomez. Sasaki gets a boot in. Heyman just wrestled off the ball by King, and now Gomez. Barwick-Gray. Farrow behind Anton here, and Anton just happy to clear the lines into the second of 2 additional minutes at the end of the first half. We're going to see a late goal. And is down the right end. Familton got into space and then immediately ran out of it as the line loomed large.
1 minute hockey, 1 minute.
She's never played a full 90, Eliza Familton. In fact, she hadn't even played a full half before the midweek game against Wellington, so she's kept herself sharp. Being relied upon for far more minutes now at the business end of the season. Here's Olasino from deep. Hawkins a lone hand for Canberra. Second ball's on here. Krasula able to clean up before Christopherson could sneak in. Quilligan back to Krasula. Stoppage time expires at the end of 2 minutes on top of 45. And a stalemate through the first half, not for a lack of trying. Izzy Gomez had her moment trying to score from long distance, but it's been a story of the defenders and the goalkeepers so far. And on a day where the rewards for winning are massive, guaranteed finals for the Central Coast and outright second for Canberra United, neither have been able to seize it so far, because it's Central Coast Mariners 0, Canberra United 0. So let's get into the match highlights. We start with Canberra, who were on top for the most part in terms of possession, territory, and some of the half chances that appeared throughout the course of that first 45 minutes. That was Bethany Gordon slicing that one away with the aid of a deflection. This pass from Emma Hawkins was superb, and Michelle Heyman tried to beat Annalie Grove down to the goalkeeper's left hand rather than shooting across the keeper there, and Grove equal to it. But Heyman getting a look. Now this was one of the better chances for Central Coast. Tess Quilligan doing her best attempt to replicate Peter Trimus's Olympico goal from the wrong side for a right footer. Sally James, credit to her, able to bat it through the box, and then Taryn King got a yellow card for that foul. And then Gomez went for something equally spectacular. And Sally James, thankfully for her, back on her line, able to prevent that ball from falling in for the opening goal. And then right at the end of the half, the save of the game so far. Annalie Grove having a good run as the goalkeeper of the Central Coast Mariners this season, saving that one out for a corner from Bethany Gordon. So the underlying numbers, Canberra with more total shots and just edging shots on target. There've been a few fouls so far in the game, but just the one yellow card. And Canberra United slightly more accurate with their passing to date. But that's the state of play at halftime of this Ninja A-League contest. Stay with us. We'll be back for more during the halftime break. Fans having an amazing time at Polytech Stadium today. Lots of fun in the stands, but they're hoping that the home team can find a goal and put them into the finals with a win today if they are to take all 3 points. Well, speaking of the Mariners, what a difference 12 months can make. Central Coast's goalkeeper Sarah Langman was on top of the world after winning Goalkeeper of the Year in a standout season. But now the 30-year-old has a very different battle going through injury rehab. Let's learn a little bit more.
Here they come. Adams. Claire Adams, the shots! Langman fell over. And this isn't good for Sarah Langman. She's clutching at her knee straight away. Oh, this is very, very bad news for the Mariners.
I felt a pop, felt my knee shift. It is what it is. Do the rehab, hopefully be back stronger next season. I was okay until I got the phone call. Definitely cried when I heard the news. Wanted to get the surgery over and done with and start rehabbing so I can be back as soon as possible, really. I think I've handled it pretty well emotionally. When we're not at training, I still have to go to the gym on days off, and sometimes it can be quite boring, especially in the early stages of rehab, because obviously I can't do, I've only just started doing some jumping or landing stuff and some jumping stuff, which makes it a little bit more exciting, but being a goalkeeper, that's all I want to do is jump. I mean, I've been injured before, just not this long of an injury, so you can't really push. It's just time, and I'm hoping to be at least, training, fully training by pre-season. But I guess as a goalkeeper, it's different. I can be in sessions without anyone touching me or tackling me. All my family are in Adelaide, but they're very supportive. I did go home for a couple of weeks after my surgery. Still watching the games and staying connected with the girls, but just having that time with family was great. My husband, he's backed me every step of the way. It was more so I made him move from Adelaide, and he was a bit hesitant to, quit his job and leave his family. But he's always been behind me every step of the way and supported me in everything I do, and I'm lucky I have him, and made it easier for me to perform and not have to worry about going to work. I just do as many hours as I want. He loves coming out and supporting the team as well, so he still comes to the games even though I'm not playing and injured. Obviously there was definitely a lot of highs in last year, and going from winning the grand final, goalkeeper of the year, and then obviously December doing that ACL. Obviously no one expects to do the ACL, and I definitely didn't expect to do it off the back of last season. I came into the season feeling really strong. So yeah, it is disappointing, but like I said before, it is what it is, and I've got to come back stronger and better for next season, and yeah, hopefully perform the way I was performing prior to doing my ACL.
Well, great to hear from Sarah Langman, so honest about her journey back. And there she is, just hiding behind Jaya Bowman and sitting next to Bailey Broomhead, one of the other Mariners goalkeepers there. But as she said in the little package we just watched, she's still eagerly showing up watching the games. I'm not sure Marvin is going to be challenging her for the #1 spot next season. Now, don't forget, Ninja A-League fans, scan the QR code to unlock the Ninja A-League Women Heroes Pack. Register for free and go in the draw to win one of 3 epic prizes. The first prize drawn on April the 6th, where you could win one of 4 A-League Women's Finals tickets, a signed Ninja A-League Women's shirt of your choice, and a Ninja Crispy 4-in-1 portable glass air fryer. Head to aleague.com.au/heroes and get in on the action, or you can scan the QR code right there. 3 pretty good prizes. Play a shirt of your choice, A-League Women's Finals ticket, or the Ninja Crispy 4-in-1 portable air glass fryer. All right, Marvin's done. His job is over for the halftime break, but the players will be back out on the pitch, taking over soon. Stay with us. This is the Ninja A-League. Live pictures from Polytech Stadium. Canberra back out on the pitch, not far away from kicking off the second half of this Ninja A-League contest. And it has been a massive day in the Ninja A-League because of what's gone on around the grounds. You see there, Western Sydney Wanderers won away at Wellington Phoenix at Porirua Park by 1-0. It is a result that has given Melbourne City the premiership today and also has really shaken up the top six with regards to Wellington now vulnerable to being leapfrogged by Canberra United if they can win this afternoon. So Melbourne City, unassailable lead at the top now in this 20-game home and away season. And the Central Coast Mariners, if they win, they will secure their top six spot. So City premiers again, a three-peat, and they have just completed a 2-1 win against Nassaf in the AFC Women's Champions League. So they will have a semi-final to look forward to. Venue and date TBC, but City take care of business. Who will do so here at Polytech? Because it is scoreless at half-time and the rewards are massive for both teams if they can go on and win. Canberra can take second, Mariners can guarantee finals, and of course with Wanderers winning today, it also means they've jumped off the bottom of the ladder, and the Mariners' final round opponent, Sydney FC, will once again be motivated to go out and try to win to avoid the wooden spoon next weekend. Canberra looking pretty relaxed. Central Coast Mariners in a very tight huddle. Space for the goalkeeper Annalie Grove to come in. It looks as though Canberra are going to be first to act in terms of substitutions. Darcy Malone, a midfielder, is the player coming on. So will this represent a tactical shift from Canberra or simply like for like? We did see Josie Olasino and Bethany Gordon receive treatment in that first half, so has one of them not been able to make it back out for the second 45. One last word from the head coach, Anthony Jagranek, for Darcy Malone, who's played a mix of 7 starts and 7 as a sub prior to today. So she's about to come on for her 15th appearance of the season, the 23-year-old. Both teams are out there, just waiting for the refereeing crew to re-emerge from the tunnel. There's Beck Mackey walking back on. We're still waiting for the fourth official to give us the moment of truth as to which player Malone will be coming on for here. Is our referee. Beck Mackey showed just the 1 yellow card in the first half to Taryn King of the Mariners. So we're all waiting on Sophie Allam here, who's got hold of the substitutes board and can now introduce Bethany Gordon to the game, and it is Josie Olasino who's coming off. So watch this space, Canberra fans. Wasn't quite as prominent as you might have expected Josie Olasino after taking that knock in the first 10 minutes of play. And so the second half kicks off at Polytech Stadium, a scoreless game. Canberra having made a half-time sub with Darcy Malone coming on for their American attacking midfielder Josie Olasino. We're about to see a dramatic shift in the game. It's been both teams having phases on top, but Canberra perhaps just shading it in this first half, and now go to work as the shadows creep across the pitch, looking for the goal to break the deadlock. Here's Quilligan. Stealth of options here. Tess Quilligan goes back to Greta Cruzula. Kaya Buchanan. There's Barwick Gray. Happy to stand off. Now Heyman is going to turn up the heat. The goalkeeper and also Taryn King. Christopherson right there in support. Bauman keeps the ball moving. Millie Farrow entangled with Liz Anton, and too much from Anton. Free kick going the way of the Mariners. Here's another look, perfect close-up of Liz Anton's one-on-one defending. Not sure what was enough for the referee to decide it was a free kick, maybe the locking of the arms. Bauman in two minds about where to send the free kick. Decides to go across to Barwick-Gray. Now Buchanan. Quilligan. To the path of Krasula. Sasaki. Only as far as Levin. Back to Krasula. Now Bauman. Christopherson shoulder to shoulder. Farrow. The referee is pointing Canberra's way, and then the referee points the Mariners' way. So confusion reigns. Farrow's insistent that she was fouled. Liz Anton takes up the argument in the other direction. So that appeared to be the free kick against Christopherson. And then the referee pointed Canberra's way initially, but then went on to correct the call. Is this close enough for a direct shot on goal? Tamar Levin. First ever A-League goal was from even further out than this, playing for the Brisbane Roar, but that was in open play. This is from a dead ball. Canberra showing plenty of respect. They've put four in the wall. Here's Levin about to find a super strike. Tamar Levin off a short run up. It's got good trajectory, and it does require a save out for a corner kick. Conventional enough for Sally James, but not taking any chances on going for a catch instead of a parry. Happy to concede a corner. Positioning was spot on. And the home fans start the Mariners chant. Players shielding their eyes from the setting sun. Levin from the free kick to the corner. To the back post, Sally James clattered, and the referee has seen the free kick. It was her own teammate that may have shoved her over there. No, it was Liz Barwick-Gray who went crashing in, was leaping for the ball. James unflustered, back on her feet. Sasaki here, driving a low pass straight to Krasula. Levin, twisting out to the left, and then plays it back to Bauman. Barwick-Gray. Gomez. Quilligan. And Gomez against the line, kept it in, but only to the advantage of Anton. Or did she? The referee's whistle's gone here. So just a bit of frustration and tetchiness starting to creep into the game. The grab of the shorts is perhaps what was paid there. So, first 5 minutes of the second half have territorially largely been the Mariners on top, producing one shot on target so far.
Got to have a chat to her. Whatever you contemplate.
Eavesdropping on Anthony Jagranek there. Misuk Park, the assistant referee, saying don't worry about it. Anthony Jagranek saying I've got to. Hey, that's the job. Mariners trying to stay on top here in the contest. Krasula. Levin. Waiting for Bauman to make space on the left. And now the return ball, but Rovers knew exactly where it was going. Free kick here going Canberra's way. Home fans voiced their disapproval, but not sure there's much of an argument. It did appear as though Christopherson had her ankles tapped. Christopherson still just a little proppy here, but calling for the trainer. She's going to run it off. So what can Canberra show us in an attacking sense? They've largely been absorbing pressure from the Mariners for the first 6.5 minutes of this second half. Like that, nearly inviting Central Coast back on, but Buchanan slices it away. Hamilton up for the header. Quilligan. Now Farrow. Sasaki just waited and won the ball. Grove. It's Grazula. Lateral pass there from Quilligan, intercepted by the backtracking Hawkins. Now Malone. Grove takes possession and engages Buchanan and keeps her feet. Buchanan went to ground. Grove with half a yard of space. Cuts it back to Malone. Malone squeezing it through a gap for Grove, and the Mariners defence able to clear. Well, at times in that first half, Canberra were patient almost to the point of apprehension to just send in a cross or try to play the killer pass. And again, the Mariners defence has been able to sit deep and hold them off here. Taylor Young sends this one high and hopeful for Heyman. Maybe that's why Canberra have been biding their time sometimes on venturing into the box, so as not to allow the Mariners to launch counters like this. Gomez, fouled by Anton. Anton's got to be careful not to either talk or foul their way into the book here, and that in isolation is not a yellow card foul. But the Kiwi defender is starting to draw the attention of Beck Mackey more regularly. Perhaps that's what Taryn King is asking about here. The foul count starting to go up. So another long-range free kick for the Central Coast. Izzy Gomez lurking offside. As we see Levin with a bending free kick that evades all the attackers and curls out for a goal kick. Perspective shows that it was just a little too high over all the advancing players. Hamilton. Quilligan, back to Eliza Hamilton. Slide challenge came through from Hawkins. Quilligan to Buchanan. Grazula. Bauman gets to the ball before the line. Moving back in. And Malone fouling Levin. Levin has stayed down here. Here's another look. It was the landing more so than the impact of the foul that has left Tamar Levin a little worse for wear. So there are 14 total fouls in the game now. Have had this set-piece situation a couple of times now to try and find the mark. They have quite a tall team, plenty of targets to aim for. So, Levin sideways here. Bauman, the variety, doesn't get the result that was desired there from the Central Coast. Harmlessly volunteering the ball back to Sally James. Hawkins, Heyman. King. Hamilton. The striker venturing into the defensive half to try and move the Mariners forward. Quilligan. Telegraphed the pass straight to Darcy Malone. Malone out to the wing. Taylor Young. Taylor Young bending a nicely measured pass for Hawkins. And Well, Hawkins went to ground under the challenge of Barwick-Gray. And even though it's a, well, deflection late, Barwick-Gray's managed that perfectly. I just wonder if Canberra might be prompted to turn to the bench again. They made one half-time sub, but so far in the second half, they just haven't been creating. They've struggled to move the ball. The Central Coast have had territorial advantage. Could we be close to seeing Chiara Di Demizio or Mary Stanich-Floody? They do have quite an attacking bench today, so those two options are there for them. Right now they're down in the corner with Hawkins. The ball is won away by Hamilton to Quilligan. Buchanan extracts a clearance. Farrow, and as far as Sasaki. Farrow's going to press up onto Sally James. Give the goalkeeper the hurry up. Anton flips the ball onto the head of Hawkins. That was clever. Heyman now turning and facing, runs straight into the challenge of King, but has Christopherson on the wing, and Bauman committed early. Just able to interrupt Christopherson, who still has the ball, and Bauman again. A well-timed slide challenge from the Swiss, and it's out for a throw. Gordon down to Christopherson. Canberra at least starting to wrestle back some of the territory here. Getting to enjoy a bit more time down at their attacking end. Can they find the right pass or cross for Heyman? A long throw into the box. Gordon, Sasaki, the sidestep, two sidesteps, still Sasaki, and then a textbook tackle coming from Taryn King to shut it all down. Beautifully timed in the penalty area from King. I mean, Bauman just sliding in wildly there, but thankfully didn't clatter Sasaki lest she give away a penalty. Sally James inside her penalty area. Farrow just trying to be a nuisance in the press, but can't put off the goalie. Now Robers. That's a great pass for Christopherson. Christopherson trying to hit top speed here, and the touch was a little heavy. Well, you can just feel the momentum starting to shift in Canberra's favour, but execution's not quite there at the moment. Jimmy Jagradek a bit more aggressive, the shout coming from the sideline. I think everyone is collectively starting to sense that Canberra can seize the moment here. Levin, back to Bauman. Levin again, spins away from Christopherson. Farrow, first time ball. Sasaki, Gordon, all having a go, but Gomez is the one who has the ball at her feet. Back to Grisula. Grisula, first to turn away from Gordon, and then a fresh air swing at the ball. Canberra adamant it's their throw, and the assistant referee agrees. Right in front of the Canberra bench, good place to do the lobbying from. Here's Heyman, stuck in a 1-on-2, and the ball quickly leaves the scene. It's going to rear up with some backspin here. Levin. Good pass, trying to release Hamilton. Taylor Young's a speedster herself, though, and leads Hamilton to the ball, and then backs herself to spin and burst away here. Hayley Taylor-Young taking the game on and plays it to Sasha Grove. And now a foot race between Hawkins and Barwick-Gray. Emma Hawkins trying to get out in front of Barwick-Gray. And the longer strides of Liz Barwick-Gray there, able to keep things tight at the back. The diminutive American Hawkins was striving there, but just couldn't get goal side of the defender. See Canberra players planted at the edge of the penalty area, so Grove bypasses any risk of the press. Quilligan. Buchanan blocked by Grove. Charging through here. Canberra have got a 2-on-1, and look at the composure of Buchanan to escape that situation. Farrow. Over to Bauman. First time ball to Levin. Levin, a little flick on. Can't connect with Gomez. I wonder if Izzy Gomez is a little isolated from the game for the Mariners up top at the moment. Whether they'll be tempted to drop her deeper into midfield to re-engage a little bit more with the game. Here's Gordon. Sasaki. Taylor Young. Oh, beautiful pass. Finds Heyman, and then King comes through and robs Heyman of the ball. Malone, Hawkins, Heyman, and across the area to Grove. Block tackle from Buchanan, and the end result is a goal kick. Well, that had plenty of threat, but again, these half chances, these little moments, Canberra's not been able to take him so far. That's a reflection of the tension starting to build in the game. Neither team happy with a 0-0 scoreline. It still leaves Central Coast with a job to do against Sydney next week in Canberra. We'll be watching on Friday for the game between Adelaide and Wellington, hoping for a draw to leave the door to second place open for their own game against the Brisbane Roar. So much at stake. See, the Mariners have just vacated the area. No even semblance of a press at the moment. Sasaki, a loose touch, and then goes and redeems it immediately and is grabbed by Krasula, and that will be the second yellow card of the game, as Greta Krasula joins her team's captain, Taryn King, in the book. Well, luck's a fortune, really, because Sasaki nearly gave the ball away to Krasula, only to then win it back and win that foul. With the grab of the shirt, Krasula receives the yellow card. Rovers receives the free kick. King, Levin, Rovers bursting back through, keeps the ball in hard against the line. Rovers takes on Bauman, and last touch off the Canberra player there in Rovers. Bauman cool as you like. Make the switch from the Newcastle Jets in the off-season. Lorena Bauman, continuing her time in Australia. Barwick Gray. Bauman. Quilligan. Levin. Able to hold off Rovers and win a free kick. Well, good strength from Tamar Levin there. That's the voice of Corey Babington. How many do you get for persistent fouling? Grabbing and grappling between Gomez and Sasaki, and then Gomez bounces off Gordon. Gordon coming back in the other direction. Tempers are fraying here. Bethany Gordon is really taking Mackie to task here. And now Millie Farrow and Bethany Gordon are having a war of words. Taryn King is trying to play peacemaker here. And Michelle Heyman, the Canberra captain, is now getting involved, and the referee is just going to bring the two captains aside. Flashpoint like this has been coming. Both teams are frustrated. Neither's happy with the draw today. Neither would be happy with a 0-0 draw. So Gomez wins the ball legally there, and that's a clear foul by Gordon, and then there's just a little chop of the ankles after the initial foul. And I think Gomez just points and says, what about the first foul? And so Bethany Gordon is not letting up here. She has to be careful not to talk her way into a card for dissent, especially if she's about to get a card for the shirt grab. We're all confused here. We're all waiting on the central referee to make a decision. So nothing illegal there. That's a foul. Is that little swipe from Izzy Gomez one of the things that's in the dock here from the referee? Maybe that's what's got Bethany Gordon so heated. Well, this is descending into farce. I think the referee wants to come over and speak to the assistant referee on the opposite side now.
If she's not sure, she cannot send her. If she's not sure... Taryn, move on. I can't do anything. If you're not sure, you cannot.
What do you mean? 100%.
Get back in your box, bro.
100%. I've been saying it the whole day.
Eavesdropping on this, I think it is the Izzy Gomez little swipe here that's the incident that's being assessed. Taryn King saying back in your box to Anthony Jagranick, referring to the technical area, I'm sure. Izzy Gomez gets a yellow card. Bethany Gordon gets a yellow card, and that's the end of it. Well, that's the wash-up. The initial free kick was to the Central Coast, so they will stay on the attack here. Bethany Gordon has really taken exception to that little incident with Izzy Gomez after she committed the initial foul. And I suspect that's at the heart of the blow-up. Although Michelle Heyman is having a smile, so who is going to refocus on the game better here? If you're the Mariners, you're probably happy that you've got the attacking free kick, because if everyone's concentration has just been broken, you don't want to be the team about to defend a set piece. Izzy Gomez has not played a role in any of this. She has just stood off to the side, received the yellow card, no argument, no protesting. She's ready to get on with the game. So, can the Mariners let their football do the talking right here? This is a big moment in the contest. As we tick towards the final 20 minutes of regulation, a goal here could be so important. And given their respective form lines, you imagine that the fan bases of both Adelaide and Wellington, who face each other in the final round, might be hoping that the Mariners can do them a big favour here. So, 4 in the wall. Tamar Levin has had a couple of free kicks in this half. Can she find her best? Levin, and James saves again, out for a corner. Sally James has had the answers. Levin put it on target. She'll go over to take the corner now. Those two have had a duel. Tamar Levin denied by another good, firm hand from the Canberra keeper. Still a corner to contend with, though. Cluster of eager photographers watching on for the run-up of Tamar Levin in the corner here. Takes the corner short. Quilligan from a standing start and is wrapped up by Sasaki. Great defending from Sasaki, and the ball never arrived at the pack of players. Canberra clear their lines through Taylor Young. So they've turned a corner into a throw-in here, the Mariners, but they do stay on the attack. Quilligan, Gomez. In space here is Buchanan. Now Farrow, heavy first touch, and that volunteered the ball up to Anton, who comes in and takes it away. Liz Anton bursting forward. Heyman wants to make a run. The pass is just a little laboured. Heyman still retrieves the ball. Malone, got to go here in a 50-50 Malone. Maybe just lost the backtracking Familton in the peripheral vision there, because we could see it coming, but maybe Malone didn't, and Familton got in and won the foul. So the Mariners now trying to venture forward. Long ball from Rovers.
10, 10, 10.
Everyone shouting from the sideline as Gomez advances. Sasaki has stuck to Gomez all through the game. Canberra came with a plan. Oh, this is sliced on. Millie Farrow, a shooting chance perhaps. And the Canberra defence arrive in numbers. Just the briefest window of opportunity there. Farrow, who hasn't scored this season, yet to score for the Mariners. Just the one goal at Sydney FC last campaign. Barwick-Gray. King. Sasaki spills the ball, and I think Farrow still frustrated about that miss, has gone barging through. And Darcy Malone. Both teams still keeping their powder dry with regards to subs. Canberra have made just the one. The Mariners still haven't turned to their bench. Very different looking Central Coast squad today without Peter Trimmer, Savani Prakash and Tiana Fuller all the way on international duty, but they do have some potential game breakers on the bench. Janea Dos Santos in particular has come up with a couple of goals this season. Here's Gordon. Robers. Sasaki, Malone, and the free kick given. Canberra, well, Christopherson may be arguing she had an advantage to take, but the ball is going to come back. There we go, Janea Dos Santos. Say her name, and she appears. Not far away from being subbed into the game then as the Mariners' first change. Canberra getting Lillian Skelly ready to come on. As they advance here, Hawkins back to Hayley Taylor-Young. Gomez rolls into possession, tries to thread the eye of the needle, looking for Levin. Robers making a sandwich between two Mariners. Farrow plays it to Gomez, and now the attack continues for the home side. And the fans rise in response. Gomez, and a big ricochet coming there off Liz Anton. The crowd thought it was handball. Was it off an arm or was it off the back of the head of Liz Anton? It has come and gone. Here's another look. So the deflection here. Ooh, maybe the arm pit rather than the outstretched arm. I mean, the arm's up in the air. That's always going to draw the attention of the parochial fans that arm is where it shouldn't be. So, first Mariners change. It's waited until the 75th minute. But Janea Dos Santos is going to come on here for Millie Farrow. Dos Santos, 2 goals to her name in the Ninja A-League. And here comes Lillian Skelly, who made her first appearance back in the league on her return from an ACL last week. She comes on for Michelle Heyman, who did have that one chance in the first half, saved by Natalie Grove. But Skelly, the 18-year-old, on for just her 7th Ninja A-League appearance. She played 9 minutes off the bench in the win against Adelaide last week. She's going to get 15 in stoppage today. Anton. Here's Quilligan. Dos Santos introduced to the game on the wing. Back to Quilligan. Lifts in across, headed away by Sasaki. Kruzula. Quilligan. And Gomez nearly wheeled herself onto her header. It's going to bounce hard against the line. Sasaki has to clear. And Sasha Grove watching it down in the corner. Safety first. Out for a throw-in. Ball down in the corner, and the Mariners have another throw in. Buchanan. Sasaki traps the ball on the bounce. Over as far as Bauman, though. Dos Santos spins straight into the challenge of Sasha Grove. And that ball went out for another Mariners throw in. Ball hugging this right sideline at the moment. Sally James calls everyone off and says, leave it with me. Rovers. Long, hopeful ball. King leans into a header. Levin intercepted by Gordon. And Gordon looking to thread through Hawkins. King, Bauman, and Quilligan. Back to Bauman, pushing it to the line. Levin. And the clearance came from Bauman, claiming there's a deflection, and she can't believe that Canberra's got the nod. Their throw in. Starting to feel like a game that might be decided by one moment, if it's decided, if we get a winner. Now a draw looms large. Janaea Dos Santos trying to prove the catalyst to change things. Taylor Young plugged the ball in the turf. Dos Santos caught a deflection. Anton, Gordon missed the touch. Quilligan keeps the Mariners on the attack. And the header away by Taylor Young. Sasaki lunged at the ball. Lorena Bauman. Now Levin. King. Bauman did well in a contest. Malone. Free kick. Darcy Malone protests her innocence, but Bauman sent to the turf. And so the Mariners have a mid-range free kick to drop into the penalty area here. As we have a close-up look, well, I think Bauman just did enough to turn the body away from Malone and protect the ball. Sally James organising a defensive wall once again. Happy with just 2 this time. Will practice make perfect for Tamar Levin. The Mariners have had this set piece a few times now in the second half. The sun's gone away. Shadows across the ground. Here's Levin in swinger and on one bounce. Oh, James with a little bobble, but no Mariners to really make it difficult. Now trying to launch a counter-attack. Can Canberra go? Buchanan make sure that the ball disappears over the sideline. Hawkins. Dos Santos, Hawkins. Loses out. Quilligan. Anton jumped the pass. Did well to read it and then gives it straight back. Quilligan. Well, Gomez's body language sums it up. Disappointment at the pass again being misdirected. So Canberra takeover. Rovers to Grove. Back pass to Taylor Young. Steps around Dos Santos. And then gives the ball away to Buchanan. Grisula. Here's Levin. Caught a deflection off Rovers, so it will be the Mariners' throw into the last 10 minutes of regulation. Just a reminder that the draw would leave, as we see a long-range attempt here, Central Coast 4 points ahead of the Newcastle Jets, sitting in 6th, ending the Jets season. 3 points ahead of the Glory, but crucially 10 goals difference as well, all but ending the Glory's season. Positions within the 6 would still be up for grabs. Here's a long shot from Hawkins. And Grove, who hasn't had a great deal to do for the last 15 minutes, able to catch there. And Hawkins just decided to have a sighter. Now great press from Hawkins. Skelly. And the whistle goes. So it might have been a moot point. So Grove inviting on some pressure there. And again, the concentration waning. Being tested at the end of the half. It was that touch there, just inviting Hawkins on. There was an infringement in there somewhere that the referee's seen. Anthony Jagrinick saying it took place in the box. Why is the restart happening out here? Bauman. Gomez. Rovers out to the right flank. Christopherson making a run. Takes on Bauman. Bauman's clearance only as far as Gordon. Gordon clips it into the box. Hawkins up. Got on the end of the header, but no real power behind it. And not goal bound in the end as it was sliding wide of the target. Grove, the drop kick, and hooks it straight to Anthony Jagranek, who has a double sub ready to go. You can see the players with the bibs off walking up to the sideline here. Alex McKenzie is coming on for Nanako Sasaki, and Chiara Di Demizio is going to be the other player coming on, and she'll be replacing Emma Hawkins. So the American attacker not able to follow up her goal scoring against Adelaide last weekend. She leaves the game. Di Demizio comes on. And this is an interesting call to take off Sasaki, who has largely curtailed Izzy Gomez's influence on the game. Is Izzy Gomez now going to be unleashed as a result of not having Sasaki following her every move? Throw in here. Christopherson fouls Bauman. Gordon's got to be careful on a yellow card here. Don't want to make too much mischief and goad the referee into booking you again. So there's the initial foul, and Bethany Gordon, trying to prevent a quick restart, was just standing there. That's what Lorena Bauman is saying to Misa Park. Rovers is headed down. Malone wills herself onto the ball and drives it forward. Skelly running from deep, and gave Grove just enough of a hurry up to have to clear. Throw in taken quickly, and a little too quickly. Emily Grove was scrambling back on her line and found the ball at her feet. Hamilton. Leading Anton to the ball. Free kick given to Anton. Played quickly to Grove. Now Di Demizio, first involvement off the bench for the sub. Di Demizio steps away from Barwick-Gray. A low-driven cross, but it's all Mariners. Levin, oh, blocked. The Mariners can't escape just yet. Christopherson to Gordon. Can Canberra make the most of this? Starting to send a few more numbers forward. McKenzie out to the left. Taylor Young herring after the ball. A big collision with Buchanan, who stood her ground and wins a throw-in for the Central Coast. Well, Kyle Buchanan holding up that right-back position at the moment. Takes the throw-in down the line. Anton in another tangle with Hamilton. And this time the decision goes Hamilton's way. Time starting to become the enemy of both teams. A draw far from detrimental to either today, but the rewards for winning extensive. Barwick-Gray. Well, no Mariners following that ball in the air. Anton heads it down for Grove. Taylor Young. And into Dos Santos, has to go with the back pass. Sally James, first time clearance. Quilligan. Now Levin, shooting range. Well, Levin hesitated. The shot might still be on here. High and wide in the end. You can't fault Tamar Levin. She has history of being able to score from that sort of distance, but just hooked that one. The pressure from two Canberra players closing in. 3 minutes of regulation to go. Gordon. Bauman to Krasula. Makes the ball away. Levin's had a few issues today. It's just been a little bit sore and a little bit slow to get up on a few occasions, but she's toughed it out on each occasion. Switch of flanks here, an aggressive one. Kai Buchanan commits to the ball. Dos Santos, big bump in on Taylor Young, and it spills to Mackenzie, who clears. Hamilton. Buchanan. Now Barwick-Gray. Lorena Bauman. Izzy Gomez. Telegraphed the pass out to the right. Taylor Young is there with support from Sasha Grove. Can Canberra go end to end? Grove waiting for Skelly, sends her now. Lillian Skelly with Didamizio in the middle. And the cross is blocked. There's Barwick-Gray letting nothing through. Back to Darcy Malone. Out to the wings. Skelly again. More numbers to aim for this time. Hangs it up. And Gordon maybe interrupting where Christopherson was advancing. And the two players got in each other's way. And now plays whistle dead. Well, Canberra had possession and was set to reload, but Bethany Gordon is down and hurt. And the trainer out off the bench straight away. Let's have another look. So Gordon's in a wrestle there, and Sophia Christopherson's really just come in and bodied her as a result. That was unexpected for Gordon, who's just been collected from behind. And this might be enough to take us into stoppage time here. How many more minutes will these two teams get? And a draw brings Canberra level with Wellington on 31 points apiece, but Wellington's goal difference is 12 better, so we put the ball back in Wellington's court for the top two. The premiership is done. Melbourne City unassailable in first place, but if Wellington was to beat Adelaide on Friday night, then Canberra would need to win by 12 plus whatever Wellington's margin of victory is on Friday, so very unlikely. We're going to see a change. Bethany Gordon's number is up, and Mary Stanich-Floody is coming on here for a late cameo. We know she can shoot from distance. We know she can be dangerous. Gordon favouring her ribs as she walks around the sideline. It's been a typical all-action game from Gordon today. And it comes to an end in the 90th minute. So, Stanich-Floody is on. It's going to be a ball drop in Canberra's possession as we tick into just 4 additional minutes to end the game. Will we find a goal? Will we find a winner? Here's Malone playing it through. Didamizio went for it on the tight angle and puts it into the side netting. Chiara Didamizio, who did score at Polytech for Western United last season, not able to repeat the dose there. Not a bad way to bring the game into stoppage time, though. A shot. Can either team create one more big chance? Quilligan. Gomez not quite got the sit against Rovers. Rovers breaks out to right back and wins a throw in. Corey Babington waving his team up the pitch. He wants them to press, wants them to go for it here late. Rovers with the throw. Didamizio was pushed. Free kick Canberra. Rovers. Malone and into the path of Grove. She'll run it down before the line here. All about the cross. Over the head of Didamizio. And cleared away by Barwick-Gray. Gomez goes to ground under the challenge of Mackenzie. And a belated whistle does come. Mariners ball. Here's another look. Too much, according to the referee from Mackenzie. Taryn King drives it long. Onto the head of Dos Santos. Taylor Young hooks it towards the line. Stanich-Floody. Christopherson given away. Quilligan to the edge of the box. It wasn't firmly struck, the cutback there. Levin was waiting, but the ball never arrived. Quilligan gets a second chance, though. And Liz Anton wills herself onto the ball. Buchanan can't find Gomez, though. Half of stoppages ticked by. Grove. And skews that one for a Mariners throw. Brazula. Levin. Oh, an underhit pass. Skelly. From deep in midfield, hoping to find Christopherson. And she went into the back of Barwick-Gray there, but the referee, Beck Mackey, waves away the protest, so it's a Canberra throw. Skelly. Back to Christopherson. Is this Canberra's moment? No. Quilligan able to win the ball in the tackle. And we tick into the final minute of the allocated 4. Familton. Dos Santos. And again, Gomez isolated up top. He's just lost touch with the game late here, Izzy Gomez. Back pass here, asking a lot of Grove, and able to squeak it off the line and avoid conceding a corner. Canberra take the throw in quickly. Skelly spins towards the line, kept it in. Barwick-Gray with the clearance. Quilligan. Oh, the pass has been intercepted by Anton. Last chance saloon for Canberra. And Grove caught behind Bauman. Robers steps inside. They've got 20 seconds to play with here, Canberra. Grove on the wing. Back to Stanage Floody. Stanage Floody hangs it up. And it falls in the box. Skelly, can she turn? She's got 2 opponents on her here, Lillian Skelly. Plays it back to Malone. And now Stanage Floody, the long shot's on. Stanage Floody parried. And first to the ball is Kaya Buchanan. She saves the day for the Mariners. They did get one more shot on target as stoppage time expires. Mary Stanage Floody had the chance. And Annalie Grove made the save. It's a stalemate in Gosford. It's enough to knock the Newcastle Jets out of the Ninja A-League finals race. And it leaves Perth Glory with mission impossible in the final round. In all likelihood, we are down to 7. And it is, in all likelihood, going to be 3 teams, Brisbane, Central Coast and the Melbourne Victory, competing for the final 2 spots in the top 6 in the last round. Both teams distraught at full time. They know that the awards for winning could have been so much more. So let's have a look at that last shot from Mary Stanage Floody. Grove firmly down in the parry. It sat up kindly, but the first player to respond and clear it away was Kaya Buchanan. And it leaves us at Polytech Stadium with a full-time score of Central Coast Mariners 0, Canberra United 0. So, disappointment for both teams. It does mean that Friday's game between Wellington and Adelaide is advantage Wellington. They may have lost today, but they are back in control of their destiny now. If they were to beat Adelaide in Adelaide to start round 20, they would have